What's going on, Paisanos? V here, come at you guys, well, with another market watch. Paisanos, we already got one big event that happened this past weekend in which we've seen the meta shift. So common question of the day, starting with the new ban list, which is effective today. What deck are you looking to play? Because there's so much of it. There's so many decks to play, and I don't think there's any wrong answers. I mean, we could say Dragons, we could say Shadows, we could say Eldritch, you could say Prankins, you could even say Merrells. Gonna be pretty interesting. Gonna be what's gonna be happening next. Well, today, within at least a week to 2 weeks, as far as the meta slowly shifting and us actually getting a hold of what's tier 1, what's maybe 1.5, but most importantly, what's tier 2, and seeing the divide between tier 1 and tier 2, and analyzing why is certain decks 1.5. It's gonna be very interesting. But one thing that's gonna be important is gonna be the market. You guys haven't noticed the camera is now angled this way instead of like this way, and that's because I finally got a stand for my camera. Okay, so now we're gonna be having it like this. Hopefully you guys like it. I like the side profile a little myself. Look at that, boom boom. But some people like to see me like my face, and there it is. Okay, so looking at the market right now, I think we can say that everything's really hyped up. A lot of people are looking to buy. So what are you doing? Well, to be honest with you, I think you should be selling. Now, it wasn't for me doing, well, playing on Twitch streams. Some other way I would greatly appreciate you guys checking me out on Twitch, YGO_Paisano, where we're playing a multitude of different decks and different variations of decks. I think that it's important for everybody to hold maybe like 1 to 3 decks. Ideally, I think 1 to 3 decks is more than enough to hold everybody over until we get a new, well, obviously previously a ban list, but a new set comes out as well, or, well, just in case cards change up when we see new tech, which makes decks that were once terrible really good again. So I have to say 1 to 3 decks. I have a main deck and have 2 side decks. Me personally, I have a lot of decks, and that's because, well, I'm playing a lot of different decks on stream, and once again, I greatly appreciate you guys checking me out, but I think it's really important to do that. With everything else, you should be selling. In fact, if you're not playing Dragon Links, why would you not want to sell cards? Looking at cards like Phantasm, which I think is a phenomenal card beyond Dragon Links. The current version of Phantasm right now, Secret Rare and Savage Strike, we talked about this before, but with a $16 market price, you can still get unlimited. It's roughly around $14. But if you want a first version of Phantasme, that first version is going to run you at least $22 a copy. In fact, after that one's gone, you're looking roughly around $24 for Phantasme. That's only for Secret Rare. Obviously, there's other rarities and additions like Dual Overload being roughly around $2, Super Rare being $1, and Gold being a couple of pennies. That's basically what it is with this card. But if you want the highest rarity and you want the first edition, it's going to cost the most. This card, I would not be surprised, continues to rise within the market. Then we have, well, Striker Dragon, another card that's used as 3 of in Dragon Link variants. I will say this past weekend, looking at the amount of Dragon Link players entering into this event, I'm not impressed with the amount of Dragon Link players in top 16. Not that I'm saying Dragon Links are bad, because obviously they're not. They won the event. But what I am saying is, looking at Dragon Links and looking at the amount of players going in, I mean, think about it. Let's say the 5 Prankins players enter the 500-man event, and let's say that the rest of the 495 players are Dragon Links. If 1 Prankin player makes top 16, to me, that's more of a big deal than the Dragon Link players. The percentage of you have an opportunity to make top with the deck, well, it should be high. We should see a huge surge of Dragon Link and Eldritch, and which we did, but not as much as I would expect. And I think a lot of people would expect. But nevertheless, Dragon Link is still a phenomenal deck, and it definitely, obviously, won the event, and it obviously has a lot of potential moving forward. Looking at cards like Striker Dragon, and once again, the cards in which you need 3 of in the Dragon Link deck, it's running anywhere from $6 to $7 a copy. I wouldn't be surprised if this price keeps rising in value, as Dragon Link is definitely one of the most solid decks in the game right now. Then we have Chamber Dragon Maid, a card out of Eternity Code, and the first Joker just pops in there. You can buy for $69.69. Oh my god. Anyway, the card with a current $75 market price is roughly, well, once again, besides that Joker price point, $76. I think they actually do own the card. They do have a gold star. I don't think they'll jeopardize a gold star, but like, why would you meme? And why would you make the shipping 69 cents? Anyway, looking at this current price for this card, it obviously rocketed up high in value, and it's probably not going to go down for a while. But if you're looking at the Chamber Dragon Maid Starlight Rare, which for a while had a $261 market price, the value is a little bit under $400 a copy. It spiked, and it probably might not come down in a while. Just want to say, I'm not sure if everyone got their little Stimmy checks, but I think I'm getting mine. A lot of people I know are getting theirs on Wednesday. So don't be surprised if the market goes crazy starting Wednesday. Just throwing it out there. Erratic Seals of Heavenly Spears is another card that only came out in dual power with a $13 market price. The value of this card, well, it's roughly around $23. $23 for Erratic Seal Heavenly Spears. And the reason why is it's 2 of, once again, used in Dragon Links, once again, using dual power, well, from dual power. And dual power is a set that had so many insanely broken and powerful cards. I mean, a lot of things that insanely broken in this game came out of this set. As well as another set we'll talk about in a second. Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magic Dragon, is one of my favorite cards out of Rise of the Duelist. The card originally had a $6 market price, and for a while, stood at roughly around $6. The price when it slowly rose to $18, and I said, hey, you keep buying this card, it's kind of important. Then again, at the time I was running Thunder Dragon Chaos, which ran one of these, but now looking at it, this card might be the next big thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think if you Gamma, you go into Mega and punish your opponent. That's pretty insane. But now if you could Gamma and go into Chaos Ruler with the Chaotic Magical Dragon, that's also insane. The card with a current $31 market price is kind of cooled down to roughly around $28. We don't know where this is going to go for value-wise, but this card's important and it's huge, and every player I think should own a copy of this card if they don't currently already have one. Then we got Star Elite Sheafreed. Now, this card, super ultra rare at a 2020 Mega Tins with $11 market price, is roughly around $11 and stable. It might slowly start to drop down, so keep an eye on it. But if you want the secret version at a Chaos Impact with a $14 market price, the limits are roughly around $20. Now, if you want a first edition version, that's going to run you roughly around $21 for Star Elite Sheafreed. This card is just so good. And the thing about, once again, the thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! We also talk about is a game of dragons and spellcasters. It's always going to be that. We're always going to see dragons and spellcaster cards go up in value. And looking at Star Elite Sheafreed, I mean, the card literally just yells, hi, I do everything for dragons. Why won't you play me? The fact that this card Secret Rare is only at this price point right now is kind of shocking. I wouldn't be surprised if Secret Rare spikes up in value as time goes on. Whether it spikes down, Dragon Links go down right now, doesn't mean nothing to me. Because in time, the card will see play if dragons become good again. And once again, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game of dragons and spellcasters. So I'm not surprised to see this card be at the crazy current high price point it currently is right now. Next collect Chaos Space. One of my favorite cards out of Toon Chaos. Chaos Space right now, well, originally was roughly around $5, but right now we're seeing the super rare out of Toon Chaos be roughly around, well, $8 for Unlimited, and first edition is also roughly around $8. Now, if you want to collect this rare version of Chaos Space, here's where things get a little fuzzy. Collect this rare version of Chaos Space with a $64 market price is actually $55 if you want the Unlimiteds. But if you want a first edition version of Chaos Space, you're looking to pay anywhere for upwards of $135. That's the starting price for Chaos Space. The price very quickly, by the way, with a couple of sales, goes to $150. That's a lot of money. But then again, this card, insanely broken. Up next, we have Nibiru, the Primal Being. When this card first debuted, it had a $120 market price. It was insanely expensive. And I said, wait, it's going to go down. And it did. It went down as low as $80 for a very short amount of time. The card with a current $108 market price is roughly around, well, $131. After that one's gone, the price point spikes to $140 for Nibiru. Now, of course, once again, I'm going by verifiable sales in case anyone's new to this channel. The Gold Star sales, I should really say. There's obviously a guy over here with 100% out of 38 sales, but Gold Stars is probably the safest way to get your cards nowadays with shipping and everything happening. Hopefully that fixes and changes. We'll talk about that in the future maybe, but right now, I'm a big fan of you buying only from Gold Stars and the Grace checkmark, which means it's a certified hobby shop. Don't get me wrong, they do mess up at times, but they really don't as far as like in the long run. They want to maintain that 100% and they want to maintain a Gold Star. And once again, they don't want to lose status from TC player. So that's why I do that. But looking at Nibiru being so high in value, it just makes perfect sense. Nibiru was just played so heavily throughout the event this past weekend. Players were even main the card because nothing says Nibiru any more so than a new meta in which players are figuring out what to play. And if you're figuring out what to play, you might not go into Appaloosa on the 5th summon. You might not be okay with having that Nibiru drop on the 5th summon as well. And this card hitting the board is a big deal. Won't be surprised if we see Nibiru seeing more play and the price, unfortunately, at OTS Tournament Pack 14 spike even higher. Then we have Eldritch. Eldritch to me is kind of like Shadow's. It's the safe bet of the meta. It's the deck that you play. I'm mostly referring to Eldritch Zodiac, which it was dominant throughout the top tier as far as the other Eldritch variants. But looking at Eldritch Zodiac and looking at, once again, another deck, Shadow's, we'll talk about later in the video, these decks are the most safest bets you can play, and they were, and a lot of players played those decks, especially into the top cut. But looking at Eldritch, if you're looking to buy right now, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Now, obviously, for Eldritch the Golden Lord, you can get the you get the gold rare, whatever rarity that is, for $6. It's not that bad, to be honest with you. If you want an original print secret rare version of Eldritch the Golden Lord at Secret Slayers with a $46 market price, well, it's like well, realistically, $53 with shipping. So that's the price point you're going to look at me paying for Eldritch the Golden Lord. Now, besides getting 2 of those, which you probably just need 2 of those, you need 3 Curse Ellen. This card with a $47 market price right now is on sale, $42. By the way, after that playset's gone, the price point spikes back up to $50 for the super copy of Curse Ellen. Hopefully you'll see reprints to Curse Ellen. It needs it desperately. Elixir of Black Awakening, by the way, is holding a $28 price point. And other cards, or Ellen cards like Conquistador, is upwards as now as high as $6. You want Elixir? Sure, $5. And Hakuero, a card that plays 2 to 3, roughly around $3. That's pretty insane for Eldritch. But then again, once again, it is the safest deck to run in the meta. And that's not also an expensive part of your deck. No. If you're playing Eldritch Zodiac, you still need to get Zeus. At least 1. Realistically, you probably might want to consider getting 2. Because you can easily go into both within 1 game. That card's going to cost you a lot of money. Now, Brigade Fractal, another card out of Fan of Rage with a $26 market price. Well, it's on sale by $1. It's currently $25 for Fractal. Now, I think Birds were probably the most anticipated deck throughout the weekend. Every deck we saw was ready to play against Birds. I'm not sure if they're ready to play against each other or any other variants. You know, I'm not sure that show play is thinking about Dragons or Eldritch as much as it's thinking about getting past Barrier Statue. Being the fact that Brigade did not get touched whatsoever on this ban list. Looking at it right here, for the high price point, what Fractal's going for right now, I'm not surprised everybody was ready for it. But does that mean Birds is the worst deck? Not really. The way I see it is, I see it Birds almost like Drytrons right now. Where the first big event, we see everyone getting ready specifically for Drytrons. As time went on, and not that long, by the way, as time went on, what we see is people just forget or maybe not worry about Drytrons as much. And that's kind of what's going to be happening with Birds. I think players are going to be forgetting about this deck, or maybe not worrying about it as much, and then we'll see it dominate again. I personally think Birds is obviously one of the best decks in the meta. And I do think Brigade Fractal being as high as it is kind of proof that is. Now, here's the thing. Can it maintain being one of the best decks in the meta? That's a hard question. I really don't have the answer. I don't think nobody really does. The only way we can fully see what's going to happen is the tournament results, especially in locals. Starting today, on locals, we're going to be able to see what decks can dominate and what decks are going to top and what's going to be the best deck and the worst deck. And we'll go over that on my Twitch stream, and I'll probably going to play Birds today, and I'm going to start it by doing that for a while, and then we're going to switch other decks. I think there's a lot of other great decks. In fact, I'm not going to lie to you, Water, looking pretty good. Shadows, looking really good. Even Thunder Dragon, the Chaos variant, looking really good. You know why? Because Shadows has multiple variants. It's really hard to play test against what variant Shadows. Water, beginning of meta, it's always going to be good. And, I mean, everything else under the sun that's not the known, well, like Chaos Thunder Dragons, pretty good right now. If you don't know how to play against them, or if you know how to play around them, you just are only good at losing to them. And I feel like that's what's going to happen with a lot of players against a lot of decks. That's why it's very important to know every matchup as best as possible, so you have the edge and advantage. By the way, if you want 5 version tanky, both used in Birds and, well, in Eldritch as well, Eldritch Zodiac, Ultimate 5 version tanky at Astro Pack 3, well, you know, with a $130 market price, is roughly around $160. Now, after that guy sold his, it goes for roughly around $166 for one Ultimate Rare 5 formation tanky. This card is used once again in Birds and in Zodiac, or Eldritch Zodiac. And, you know, to be honest with you, maybe even pure Zodiac might be looking good at the beginning of this format. We might see this card hit well over $200. It's used in one of the best, safest decks. It's used in one of the most aggressive decks. And it's just used universally in the meta for the past, how long now? I mean, pre-pandemic, this card has been seen play, so Yeah, it's insane to see this card have such a high value. Even with the Starlight version of Tenki coming out, if it was to come out, I still think the Ultimate Rare was going to maintain a high price point. Well, due to the fact that it came on Astro Pack 3, which is so long ago, and the market doesn't have many to dump on here. Up next, guys, we have Anaconda Archosaur. So, with a $71 market price, the value is roughly around $72 to $73. Dino players, hey, listen, I'll admit it I'll be the first to say it. I was wrong, Dino players. I thought the balance was going to beat you silly. I thought the game was going to change, but yet nothing happened. Dino players, and by the way, hold on a second. Before any Dino players about to like run to that keyboard and go, that's right, V, you better listen to my Dino Power Miscellaneousaurus. Dino Power, we're so good, Miscellaneousaurus. We're so good at Yu-Gi-Oh! You gotta play Miscellaneousaurus, and then you're asking me if I want a response to it. You're a dumbass. Dino Power point, like, listen, I'm not saying you're a bad person if you play dinos. I'm just saying you're a bad person if you run 3 Mystic Mine in dinos. I just don't like the card, and then I don't like Miscellaneousaurus, and your deck got 2 of the most degenerate things, and they're just kissing, and that's what dinos are. Yeah, hey, listen, you can do whatever you want, you can play whatever you want this format. I'm not gonna hate you for abusing the format, for allowing you to do dumb plays. I'm just not gonna do it. Unless it's an FTK, which is I think we can all agree is pretty bad. Almost any card is up for grabs for any player to sleeve in their deck, and I don't really get mad at the player just as much as the player just needs to not like try to like if you're a Dino player and you're gloating, just know, or your friends look at you like you're a dumbass. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, oh yeah, I made top whatever in X event. You played Mystic Mine. Mystic Mine made top. You just was the one that put it on board. Throwing it out there. Okay? Just throwing it out there. I don't hate you as a Dino player. Just shut up about your dumb Dino cards. And when I mean Anaconda Archosaur, which is a phenomenal card, by the way, I really meant to say Miscellaneousaurus. Like this card. This card really is broken. But good for you. By the way, I just want to say real quickly, guys, anyone thinks that V's salty about dinos, I have a pretty good track record against dinos. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with this deck being around the meta. I actually like this deck. I just don't want to play it because I don't like playing Mystic Mine as a 3-of. Now, with that said, I just said that, I do like Prankits. I think Prankits need to play 1 Mystic Mine. Okay, next, if you are looking to also play dinos, you might want to consider other cards like Adolka, which is as low as $11 in the 2012 Collector Tin, or the Photon Shockwave variant starting at $18. Then again, once again, you still gotta run Mystic Mine. You got the Prismatic being $6, the Super Rare being $5. You know, Konami, like, you read your cards, Konami? Like, this card's pretty, like, you know, it's whatever, man. But, you know, one thing that's really interesting to know at this past weekend's event, I think it was 15, I think, or 14 or 15, of the top 16 decks this past weekend ran Cosmic Cyclone. We'll talk about that card in a second, but that's a card you might need to start running in order to get rid of cards like this. Because if you don't have that card, and they drop mine, you will lose the game. Like, you will. Even Dino players, they're just going to wait till they have strong enough of a board to murder you. Like, as much as Dino brains it up, that is, like, the thing to do. And Mystic Mine is a broken card, and once again, if you don't have the answer, they will drop this on you, and you will lose. Not just Dinos, but maybe Prankits. Maybe other variants are going to start playing this card. I don't know, but what I do know is, you better have your answer for this card, or you're going to lose to this card. Rescue Cat at Turtle Pack Booster 3 is expensive. We know that already. I mean, the card with a $62 market price is roughly around $74 to, well, realistically, $78, almost $80 for Rescue Cat. Now, that's a lot of money, you know. That's a lot of money. I think last week when it was 48, even that was a lot of money for this card. But then again, it's from Turtle Pack Booster 3, so is it a lot of money? I personally think it wasn't. I bought 3, by the way, so that's why. But I do think overall it's expensive as a card. We can agree on that. What's happening to the other Rescue Cats? Look at the Ultra Rescue Cat at Dual Saga with a $27 market price. The value is $29. Looking at, we'll grab a common. We'll grab a Champion Pack 5 version of the card. Okay, that's $19. Take it back, grab another copy. Flaming Eternity. Okay, cool. Yeah, no big deal, right? Wrong. This card's $20. You want a first edition version? Sure. It starts roughly around, well, $30. First edition version of Rescue Cat from Flaming Eternity. Okay, whatever. Wait, look, another common. Cool, Dark Relations 3, whatever. It's common. It should be cheap. It's common. There's so many commons. Wrong. Again. $10 market price, the value of this card being roughly around $26. After that one's gone, $36. Look at rare. Don't look at that. Hey, you know what? That's kind of cheaper than the other cards, I guess. What I'm trying to say, Rescue Cat's spiking up high in value because it's used in Tri-Brigade. The fact that this card's still a crazy amount of money, despite the fact there's multiple commons, a rare, ultra rare, and original print, well, I call it the original print, high rarity, super rare, is insane. But then again, understandable. Can you access Rescue Cat? No. When was the last printing? Duelist Saga. When was the last printing before that? I think it was, I'm gonna say Champion Pack 5, or it's one of these three, I know for sure. It's not Total Pack Pistol 1, definitely not. D-Rev, a Champion Pack 5, I think was the last one. I don't know. Nevertheless, it was really easy to get. Really easy, and so easy to get, well, where all those players holding all the Rescue Cats? Probably not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore. Yu-Gi-Oh! Cycles out, and it's really rare to get original old Yu-Gi-Oh! Players like myself, fossils, that will still play the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And still hold all their cards. That's important. And looking at Rescue Cat being so high in value, it's no shocker. And Konami, we should probably get a reprint of this card really soon. I will say Super Rescue Cat looks gorgeous. I'm going to play it. And when I'm done with Birds, I'm more than likely going to sell it. Don't get me wrong. I love this card. I love it a lot. But the price point being so high as it is right now, kind of crazy. Also, I've been told Drytrons can go into Exhibito and do some play, or is it Virtual World? I don't know. Comment down below. You let me know, so you can let everyone else know. I don't need 8 of the same comments. I need 1 comment just going, it's using X deck, but I'm probably going to get 8 of the same comments. Let's take that challenge, Paisanos. Looking at Inzector Exhibito out of Order Chaos with a 19, almost a $20 market price. Yeah, it's not. 41 for unlimited, and 41 for name and first edition. I mean, the card only came out of Order Chaos, so it's money, but that's still pretty crazy. Oh, but I see how they do it. They target one monster after they pitch in, they give it to Exhibito. That play is cute as hell, dude. Okay, up next to Polymerization, a card coming out of OTS 1 Pack 14, a card which price point was as low as $65. Well, with an $86 market price, the value of the card currently is $106. $106. That's crazy. Look at Polymerization. It was using a lot of decks, and I'm not surprised that it's seeing so much play right now, because the card is great in a slower format. We're tackling in a much slower format right now. Effectively, today, you are entering in a format way slower than the previous meta, and definitely more slower than the previous meta before that, when we had Infernos versus Dragon Link, which is OP as crazy. Super Polymerization is an excellent card that will more than likely get banned. I will say it looks beautiful as an Ultimate Rare. Just know, don't be surprised if this card gets banned. It is broken. I think we can all agree to that. This card, you just activate, your opponent goes, I like to chain, you go, shh, 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 shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. This is happening. And then you just take their board, and then you make a monster. And then if you run Dragon Pelio, you just put a thing on somebody and you negate it. And your opponent's like, I'll negate that. You're like, yeah, you earned it. Like, it's just a really broken card. Then we have Lightning Storm, a card in which didn't really see much play last meta, 24 hours ago, but is seeing a lot of play today. Looking at Lightning Storm out of Ignition Sword, once again, the rumors, I think, was holding this price point down, which is scary, and what do you do with that information? If the rumors are true, the price point of Lightning Storm Secret Rare out of Initial Sword will go down. Don't know where they go, probably $60, who knows? But if that alleged list is not true, okay, from Ghost of the Past, and there's no Ultra Rare Lightning Storm coming, by the way, if it does come, it's going to be short printed, so the price point will go beyond 60, but it'll stabilize at 60 for a short time. The value Lightning Storm is going to spike to well over $100. No doubt in my mind that's going to happen. Now, once again, Secret Lightning Storms at Initial Sword with an $82 market price. The value for Unlimited is already at $89. You want a first edition version? No big deal. I'll get you at, well, let's see, roughly around $92 for Lightning Storms. Once again, that might seem like a lot of money, but if the Ghost in the Past list is not true, and Lightning Storm is not on that list, it's going to be worth a lot of money, number one. Number two, the value of Lightning Storm will, if it was to get reprinted and Ghost in the Past as an Ultra Rare, it's going to get short printed. We can all agree on that. The value of Lightning Storm will go down Secret Rare temporarily before it spikes back up. We saw it already with Elite Match, Infinite Permanence, As Possible Joy Spring. It's no different than all those other cards. It will definitely go back up after it goes down a little bit and stabilizes. It'll have a short amount of time in which you can go ahead and grab this card. Now, Lightning Storm is definitely a card that's been seen this play this past weekend, and I do think it's going to see play as time goes on. Slower format equals more resources, equals if I Lightning Storm your resources and you don't have them, you kind of don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously, there's other alternatives, so you don't want to spend this kind of money. You can always grab Evenly Match, which is an excellent card. Up next, Pot of Extravagance. This card started to see play again, And, I mean, of course, Dino players can run Extravagance, they can run Prosperity, and for the most part, not be affected by the downsides of either or. And that's what makes these two cards really good in those decks. So I don't mind these cards, or seeing these cards in those decks, because it does make a lot of sense. If you want cheap Prosperity, you can go ahead and get the original one, well, the one at Toon Chaos for $25. The value right now is roughly around, well, $25 to $26. Okay, but if you want to get the highest rarity version, you're going to look at the Toon Chaos Collector's Rares with a $71 market price. Unlimiteds are roughly around $67, and if you want a first edition version of this card, it's roughly around $150. I wouldn't recommend getting Collector's Rare as part of Extravagance, even though I love high rarity, and the reason why is because why get this when we know we're going to get an Ultimate Rare part of Extravagance? It's inevitable. We got Pot of Duality Ultimate Rare, we got Pot of Zeiss Ultimate Rare, we got Pot of Greed Ultimate Rare, Pot of Extravagance Ultimate Rare. That's inevitable. We're going to get it. So why would you want to go ahead and buy a Collector's Rare when the Ultimate Rare will more than likely have more high value? It's up to you if you want to do that or not. Just note, from an angle, your Collector's Rare does look like an Ultra Rare. When the Ultimate Rare comes out, any angle, it still looks like an Ultra Rare. Unless you have, like, bad eyesight, then that's on you. Cosmic Cyclone, at its max potential, at an OTS 1 Pack 7, as the Ultimate Rare, with a $71 market price. Right now, if you want the 4-in-1s for some ungodly reason, is roughly around $96. It quickly spikes, by the way, after that one sold, that playset sold, to $120. Now, you don't need to buy the most expensive version of Cosmic Cyclone. There's any other version you can buy, and there are a lot of great value for what you can get. But if you don't want to drop over $100 on Cosmic Cyclone, I don't blame you. The Secret Rare out of Dark Illusions, which is a phenomenal set with an $8.50 market price, the Unlimiteds right now, well, they're roughly around $15. First editions are also, once again, that's all around that price point, $15 for first editions. That might seem like a lot until you realize the fact that the Ultimate Rares are insanely expensive, and the original print versions of Dark Illusions are going to follow that price point. They're going to start rising in value. So if you don't have yours, but you still want nice rarity, you can still get the Secret Rares, which I highly recommend you do. Predator Anaconda at a dual overload with a $34 market price is roughly around, well, $35. Now, I still don't like this card that much, but with that said, this card is insane if you're looking to play any Shadow variant. I don't like Dragoon, I guess, and I'll talk about that in a second of why I don't like Dragoon. One, it's too much money for what's going to happen to it. We know it's going to get banned. That's number one. Number two, Dragoon has one huge weakness that can be exploited and wind up making you lose the game. Think about it. You play your Anaconda, you pay those in life points, you bring out Dragoon. I'll talk about what happens to you and how you can lose the game by doing that. But looking at Predator Anaconda at a dual overload, this card obviously is an amazing card. And if you're looking to play Shadow variant, this card can help you cheat that out. It's not bad, and you definitely want to run one of it. And its current $35 price point, not that expensive, to be honest with you, compared to, well, Dragoons. Dragoon currently has a $72 market price, and if you look at over here, it's roughly around $75. Okay, one, this card's getting banned. Two, this card's not that good, and I'll tell you why in a second. And three, if you put Dragoon out and you don't back it up, you're asking for a whipping. You're cruising for a bruising, Paisano. Let me explain. Triple Tactics Talents is a card that saw a lot of dominant play throughout this weekend. I think 7 out of the top 16 decks ran Triple Tactics Talents. That means if you make your board and you go Anaconda, you pay 2 dozen life points, you got 6 dozen left, you go Dragoon, and with 3 dozen attack, all I gotta do is bait and negate, so his attack now goes to 4, I Talents take it. That means my Dragoon that I took from you, by the way, appreciate that, you worked really hard to bring it out. My Talents literally said, see what he did with Dragoon? Cool, mine now, after I bait and negate. That means you gave me a 4,000 attack monster that now I can have an Omni Negate for to make it 5,000 attack. Ideally, I would need to do anywhere between 1 to 2,000 attack to you because you decided to be big and bad and show off your Dragoon card. Was it worth it? Don't get me wrong, this card's not a bad card. It's still a phenomenal card, but it does have weaknesses. Players are playing Dark World No More, players playing Forbidden Droplet, and players that have the ability to do so are going to be playing Talents against you. If you can't save this monster from getting straight up removed from the board, you spent a lot of life points, and especially if you're in Game 3 and you go to time you're trying to do this, just to lose at the game Yu-Gi-Oh! I think we're going to see a very diverse meta in which players are going to ideally want to go first and players ideally want to go second. And if I'm playing against you and we're in Game 3 and we got a couple minutes left on that clock, go ahead and make your board. I don't need to do much other than take your Dragoons and kill you with it. Or take your Dragoons and use the effect to blow your board up and then kill you with it. It's not a bad card once again, but this is a double-sided sword. With a $75 market price, I do think this card's going to get banned. So, listen, hey, You got about, what, roughly, arguably 3 months for a banless, so that's a lot of time to enjoy a $75 card. But not only can you enjoy that card for $75, you gotta make sure that this card don't get you killed in a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or lose the game. But it's a phenomenal card, and I do think that the price point of $75 is definitely not worth it. I sold mine. I'm not looking to buy another one. I don't care if someone sells it to me for $30 or $50, $10. I don't want this card. I don't think it's as good for what it can do to me as a player. If you're playing this card in a deck like Shadow's, not really impressive. I'd rather do Shadow Fusion. If you're playing this card in Dragon Link, I can see why would you want to. With the fact that you have multiple negates, a bounce. I understand why you want to play that card. That does make sense in that deck. I just don't know if a lot of decks can take advantage, like Dragon Links can take advantage of Dragoon with having multiple cards and multiple layers of protection. Looking at Forbidden Droplet right now at a Rise of Duelist with $116 market price, the value of this card is roughly around $117 to $18. Well, wait a minute. This is going to get a reprint as an Ultimate, isn't it? Sure. But that's not today. That's not next month. That's in far away. And by the time Droplets does get a reprint, the price point will slowly be going down. So that's one thing we have that we can go, great, that's awesome. But that's not going to happen today. That's not even going to happen for this month. Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are going to hold droplets probably, and we might start seeing a dip a little bit, maybe after the extravaganza if it doesn't show as much dominant play, which I don't know if it will or won't. But if it does show dominant play, the price point more than likely will not spike higher, or more than likely stabilize. I think maybe 130, but nothing too crazy after that, which is already crazy, I get it, but like, you know what I'm saying. We're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! These cards get some dumb numbers. Looking at Forbidden Droplet, it's definitely a card I recommend you guys can get if you have the opportunity to get it, but you don't really necessarily need it. And the reason why is because, well, we have Dark Ruler No More, which is an amazing card. The only reason I like Forbidden Droplets is because in a slower meta, it's more chainable, and I really do like and respect how Forbidden Droplet can get more utility as a card. Obviously, you can also do damage to your opponent, which is a big deal if you're trying to end that game as fast as possible. But Forbidden Droplet, once again, that compared to Dark Ruler No More, Dark Ruler No More being $7, Droplets being $117, I'll get a place at a Dark Ruler No More. I do want to place it at both, by the way, and I do think they're both great cards, but for realistically, Dark Ruler No More, like, I wouldn't even look at Droplets. The problem with that is, by everyone doing that, the price of Droplets might rise even higher as Yu-Gi-Oh! Players not get rid of their copies, because why would you want to get rid of this card and hold it? So it's going to be in a weird conundrum. This card's going to hit some interesting numbers, and not because it's super popular. Even if it does become super popular, it's more likely going to happen is because why would you want to buy this card when you can buy Dark Ruler, which is $7? I love Triple Tactics Talents a lot. How much? I bought 3 Starlight Rares. Why? Because this card has 3 banned cards on it. Now, don't get me wrong. All I have to do is get you to do something during my main phase. That's it. That's not hard. If we do something during the main phase, you can activate Triple Tactics Talents and basically do any of 3 effects of 3 cards that are currently on the ban list. Now, if you're like, V, I don't have the money for Starlight Talent. It's $400. Actually, realistically, it's $450. That's a lot of money, V. The Secret Rare is probably not going to be any more better for you. Triple Tactics Talents with a $101 market price right now is roughly around $106. Now, you can get some from some other sales. Once again, this guy has 20 sales. He might have it. Who knows? But it's roughly around $106 for a Triple Tactics Talents. Obviously, not everybody has opportunity to grab this card. But if you are looking to play against anybody, if you have a locals or you have a remote duel locals or whatever you have, and you got people all around you to play Dragoons, this card is the god card at stopping Dragoons. It stops Dragoons. If you're looking to play combo, talking to you Dragon Link players and any other player that needs to extend, this card's going to help you out as far as that. You activate a monster effect, you put an Ash Blossoms you talents them. If you have the combo, sniper card of their hand. Punish them for doing the right thing. If you don't have the combo, no big deal, draw 2 cards. If they have Dragoons on board, and if they already went through all the negate, take Dragoons and murder them with it. Thanks to that Dragoons, I greatly appreciate the fact that you gave me a murderer to use on. Like, you just put a murder on board with a 4,000 attack and said, hey, use this card to kill him. You're like, alright, I'll do as you say. Nevertheless, Triple Tactics Talents is a phenomenal card, and unfortunately, it's a card a lot of players might find themselves needing, and there's no other reprint coming. That's why when everyone was excited about Lightning Storm, not that I hate Lightning Storm allegedly getting an ultra rare reprint in Ghost of the Past, I would rather it be a card like Triple Tactics Talents, which is a lot better of a card, and a card that's more diverse, whereas Lightning Storm has a certain criteria that needs to be made. Triple Tactics Talents does have a certain criteria, but it's an easier criteria due to the fact that we're seeing a lot of players play a multitude of hand traps in the meta and the incoming meta. So So hopefully we see this card come out of Ghost from the Past, maybe even as a Ghost Rare, or maybe as the next OTS pack, as a Super Rare, third Ultimate Rare. Hopefully we see this card come out soon. But until that day happens, this card is going to be the card, the key that everyone's going to need. It came out of Rise of the Duelist, and that was a pretty long while ago. And unfortunately, Konami still hasn't got the picture that a card with 3 banned effects is good in the meta of Yu-Gi-Oh! Konami, what are you doing? Giving us one Lightning Storm? Oh, please, that's so nice of you, Konami. We don't need Forbidden Droplets, any of the magical cards, Triple Tactics Talents, any of those cards. No, we don't want those cards. We want one Lightning Storm as an Ultra Rare that you're going to short print on us. Thank you, Konami. Oh, please. No more. Can I get the 5-4 Dragon Rider that I can't use? Oh, Konami, you're so good to me. Oh, Dark Magician Girl? Great, because I love anime like that. Bro, chill. Listen, I think we need Triple Tactics Talents. We need Forbidden Droplet. We need Dogmatica cards. Hell, do me a favor. Just reprint Rise of the Duelist, throw it out in the market, so at least players can have an opportunity to get it. Once again, I have a majority of these cards. I'm not hurting, but I know there's a lot of players out there who could be the next big player. There's a lot of players out there who can re-innovate the way we play the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And we can't get to that player because these cards are so insanely expensive. I understand that Yu-Gi-Oh's a game of money. I love spending money on your game, Konami. I always pay homage to the wild world of Konami's bank account and fill it with money, but it's not cool when these cards are so expensive and the meta is demanding these cards you see play in the top tier decks. Paisanos, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. It's your boy V, and you Paisanos have a great day.